Algebra 1, Module 2, Algebraic Models. Lesson 2.4, Inequality. So here's a warm-up. Pause the video. Okay, guys, I'm going to assume that you did it. And here are the answers. Okay. So basic idea here is that you have a formula over here. And for each degree in Fahrenheit, you might want to plug in for the F. And then you could solve for C. But it's kind of redundant if you have to do it for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it's actually a better idea for you to just solve for C. And when you do that, you subtract 32 from both sides like this. Then you would end up with F minus 32 is equal to 9/5 C. And then you multiply by the reciprocal of 9/5, 5/9, which will give you 5/9 on the left-hand side. And of course, we multiply by 5/9 to get rid of this, right? So you're left with C. And that's what the book answer was. And what you would do is that you plug in each value, 22, 41, 65, 47, 28, into the Fahrenheit to get the Celsius. Looks like it might be a good idea for you to use a calculator in this case. Okay. And would it be ever possible for temperature in Celsius to have a greater value? And then it appears so for Celsius to have greater value in certain cases, right? Yes, for any Fahrenheit temperature less than 40 degrees, right? For example, if it's 49 degrees Celsius, it's 45. But we would talk about more carefully in classroom. So, all right, guys, let's move on to the lesson. I don't want to keep the lessons too long. Okay. So here it is, inequalities. An inequality is a statement that compares two expressions that are not strictly equal to each other by using one of the following inequality signs. There are 5 of them, right? Left is less than the right. Left expression is less than or equal to the right-hand side. In this case, the left expression is greater than. And this little bar right there, that's equal to. So this here will be left side is greater than or equal to the right-hand side. And this is not equal to. Okay. All right. I hope that you finish copying it down. If you need more time, pause the video, please. That's the problem over here, guys. Nora is planning a birthday party for her little sister, Colleen. Nora's budget will allow her to spend no more than $50 for the party supplies. 8 children, including Colleen, will attend the party. Nora wants to determine how much she could spend on a party favors for each child, and she will also purchase a cake for $10. Rather, inequality that represents a situation. Okay. So we always want to go look at the verbs first, do we not? And the verb in this case is no more than. And I know this is all we wrote down over here, less than or equal to. But another way to say less than or equal to is no more than. No more than, right? It could be equal to, but no more, right? And then for this case, this could be no less than, right? So that means if it's no less than, it means it's greater than or equal to. Okay. So let's read the question more carefully. So no more than what? Nora's budget. Okay, let's call that B, shall we? The Nora's budget is no more than $50. Okay, let's write that down. So that'll be budget is less than or equal to 50. Okay. But what we want to know is that there will be 8 children, including Colleen, so there has to be 8, right? Well, in the party, Nora wants to determine how much she could spend for party favors for each child. So everybody's getting a party favor. So there are 8 of them. So let's call it 8F. And what else is there? All right, that's right. She has to buy a cake plus 10, right? That has to be less than or equal to 50. So because we use the letter F, we need to define what it is. So let's call it let F is equal to the cost of each favor. So this entire step right here, guys, on the first three steps, that's basically a setup. Okay, and it's a good idea for you to write them out. Now let's solve them, right? We subtract 10 from both sides, so the 8f is less than or equal to 40. Divide 8 by both sides, so the f is less than or equal to 5. So what that tells us is that the cost of the favor, because f is what? Cost of each favor, has to be less than or equal to or no more than $5. So that right there was a solve, right? So we solved it. And then we have to write the conclusion over here, guys. Okay. And the conclusion usually starts with therefore, right? Nora can spend up to, no more than, up to, same thing, up to $5 for each favor. Yes. Great. So now let's move on to the some example questions. Okay, this is actually what I worked on earlier. Okay, so we have example 1. So we got Trina is buying 12 shirts for drama club. You know what? Why don't you just try this first, and then I'll walk you through the problem that we did in class. Please pause the video. Okay, now you could unpause the video, and I'm gonna work through this question. Okay, so here the Trina cannot spend. The key word here is cannot spend more than $99. No more. Okay, cannot spend more than. So cannot. So it means that you could spend up to $99, right? So it means that spending has to be less than or equal to $99. But just like before, what constitutes spending, right? So the Trina is buying 12 shirts for the drama club, and she will, and for each one there's an additional charge. Then she'll have to pay additional charge of $2.75 to have a club logo. So that's a separate charge. So for each shirt, right? So what that means is that 12 times 12 shirts times the cost T, or the base price of the shirt, plus the logo price. That's the setup, guys. Once you have that setup, all you have to do is distribute the values like this, which will yield 12T plus 33 is equal to less than or equal to 99. Subtract 66. You end up with 12T is equal to 66. Now you divide by 12, and that will yield $5.50. So what that means is that Trina has to find a t-shirt that's $5.50 or less in the store so that she stays within the budget. Okay. All right, guys. For part B, same thing. If you have not worked on it yet, then pause the video. If not, just read it first and try it, okay? Okay, I'm gonna assume that you have already paused it, give it a go. Now let me open it up here. Oopsie, sorry. Okay, that seems to not be the right size. There you go. That looks about right. In this case, we're looking for the word at least, at most, greater than equal to, less than equal to, some sort of statement that will give that away, right? Okay, the idea here is that Sergio can spend at least $70, which means that it is greater than equal to 70, right? Unlike here, I didn't say Sergio is greater than equal to, or spending, because that's what we have to look for. So the spending has to be greater than equal to 70. So now the question is, what constitutes the spending? Similar to the left-hand side, there are 8, in this case, the quantity of 8, not shirts, but 8 friends, you have to buy the gift for. And then when you buy gift gift, you have to gift wrap it. You want to let the store do it, and they're charging $1.50 each. So what that turns out to be is G is the cost of the gift, G, plus $1.50 that you have to pay for each for gift wrapping, and then whatever that sum is, you multiply by 8. And then once you have this set up right there, guys, what you got to do is distribute the values, which gives you 8G plus 12. And solving for 8G, subtract 12 from both sides. 8G is greater than equal to 58. Now you divide by 8. That gives you 725. Therefore, Sergio needs to spend greater than or equal to, or at least, $7.25. Okay? So in this particular case, I guess Sergio has to spend at least $70, right? Which is kind of like opposite problem that most people have. Okay. All right, we got 2 more problems that we would have done in class. Okay, I'm going to give you an opportunity to read that. Look at that. Let's pause the video. Try the example 2A. Okay, we're back. So the most important word, well, I'm not sure if it's most important. I guess it's most relevant word that we have is this case right there. Okay. The daily info to be less than the cost of the people's paper. So there are 2 papers, right? And we're saying that daily info has to be less than people's paper. And then as it turns out, 2 different places. One place charges a fee of $600.50 per plus $80 per week to run an ad. People's Paper charge just flat fee of $145 per week, right? So I guess it's cheaper at the beginning because you don't have to pay $145, but daily, although it has an initial fee, its weekly fee is less. So question is, when does the People's Paper begin to become more expensive, right? So when is People's Paper greater than the daily info? Well, People's Paper is 145 times W, where W represents the number of weeks. Oh, by the way, every line that I have is important, so you should write them down. And then daily information is 80W plus 650. And then solving for that, we subtract 80W to both sides, which gives you 65W, dividing both sides by 65. According to this, has to be more than 10 weeks for the People's Paper to be more expensive. So daily info is cheaper if you run the ad less than. I'm sorry. So daily paper was initially more expensive, but if you want to run it for more than 10 weeks, then it becomes cheaper, right? And the daily paper becomes more expensive. Okay. All right, guys. Why don't you go ahead and try read 2B if you haven't done so already. If you haven't done so, pause the video. Otherwise, I'm going to go straight into this. All right. Let me make it bigger so you could see what I did. I think that should be good. There you go. The main point over here is that the actual question says, home cleaning company, when is it less expensive than the power cleaning? So now there's a relationship right here. Now we got to go find how much the power cleaning charges versus the home cleaning. According to this, the home cleaning charges $312 initially and $12 for each window. So that is 12 windows. W is number of windows, right? So $12 per each window plus $312. Whereas Power Clean charges flat fee of $36 on a window. There's no initial charge, right? So once you plug it in, we have a relationship 12W plus 312 is less than 36W. And then we subtract 12 from 36. Okay, so once we get there, we divide both sides by 24. And when you do that, That's 312 minus 20 divided by 24, and that is equal to 13. So W has to be greater than 13 for the power cleaning to be more expensive or home cleaning to be cheaper. So home cleaning is cheaper if there are more than 13 windows in this case. All right, guys. All right, here's your turn. I believe this is a... Let's see if you could do this, okay? Pause the video. Okay, here are the answers. Okay, so this is basically what we did in class. And if you do have any questions, please come see me a tutorial. Okay, have a good night.